Elbow gate. So I thought we were on to North Carolina. I even got on a I even got on my blue shirt. It's not a North Carolina shirt, it's a shirt for the high school that I went to. But I got on my blue shirt because I thought we were on to North Carolina. But today, new images, more clear images of what I'm calling elbow gate. Elbow gate. So, a new clear image shows that Don Chaney was indeed down based on his elbow, and the football at that moment looks to be coming loose based on the more clear images, right? So I see that the what's up, QB? I see that the Miami Hurricanes administration reached out to the ACC or NCAA to, I guess, get an answer as to why that was ruled a fumble when there was no evidence to support that, right? And so I'm sure I'm not the only can't. We're not going to get those calls, man. No excuses. No, we're not gonna get those calls. It's elbow gate. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, which I know I'm not the only Kane fan think this, but what are we looking to gain out of the NCAA saying that they made a mistake? That is so reminiscent of the, was it the NFC Championship game, or was it the second round of the NFC Championship game between the Saints and the Rams, where it was blatant pass interference. The referee did not throw the flag. But guess what the NFL decides to do the following year? The NFL says, how about this? Saints, we sorry that we messed you over. We sorry that this was Drew Brees' last good year. So we're going to institute a rule that now, coaches, you can challenge pass interference. If you feel that it was pass interference and we didn't call it, you can challenge. And if it was pass interference, you feel it wasn't, you can challenge. And for those of us that watch the NFL, because I know some people didn't watch it after the Kaepernick situation and some other things, other mitigating circumstances, guess what we got to see? We got to see NFL coaches throw the challenge flag out there for pass interference, only for the referees to go into the booth and come back out there to the middle of the field and say the ruling on the field is upheld. So, what do I foresee the NCAA doing? I foresee maybe the NCAA, because the NCAA loves giving people jobs, which is what the entire playoff committee is. They like giving people jobs. So I can see that they could get their own versions of Mike Pereira, about 3 or 4 of them to cover the games. And anytime there's a call, the announcers can go to bootleg Mike Pereira and say, hey, Mike, what do you think about this? Oh, well, man, I don't know if I agree with the officials on the field. And he can communicate with the people back on the field. And they can do that. That's what they can do in the grand scheme of things, because they like giving people jobs. So do that. But on a serious note, though, honestly, proper punishment probably is going to be those guys probably maybe dock some pay. Maybe if they were pegged or chosen to work maybe an ACC championship or a major bowl game, they're probably going to lose those particular privileges. And they probably may be suspended for covering a couple of games moving forward. But that's the extent of it that I think. Because that ref needs to be fired. Most of those calls were phantom. You know what, Sterling? I'm glad you brought that up, because before I do these lives, I like to try to go over the entire show and like verbally say it, but sometimes I forget stuff. But I guarantee you, and people may think I'm joking, but I know that the Twitter investigators are going to find that lead referee, and they're going to find out he was either a Florida State alum, Florida alum, he went to Notre Dame, he went to Penn State, he was a walk-on that Oklahoma team when Troy Aikman got his leg broke. Something's going to come up why he is upset with the University of Miami. So I feel like that's going to come out. Has anything ever happened to NCAA refs when egregious calls have been missed or happened? I don't know, but you know what, QB? I think this is what is different about this. This particular thing has been on the biggest of stages I believe the team will bounce back. Honestly, seeing and hearing the interviews of the players, they seem focused. QB, they run investigation. That's the end of it. But getting back to that QB, I listened to a show out of Detroit. They talk about the Big Ten, Michigan State, and stuff like that, and they were talking about it. So this is not just a regional thing. Obviously, Undisputed. No, First Take talked about it. Undisputed talked about it. So it may some may actually come from this. But at the end of the day, and let me tell you something else that's funny, right? I was thinking about this because they're not gonna give us the win back. They're not gonna do that, right? They're not gonna do that. But what's funny to me is the NCAA does have power because remember when schools get in trouble for stuff and they vacate wins, even though they don't necessarily award the team to win. So ideally, the NCAA does have the power to come out and say, look, they effed up. So sorry, Georgia Tech, we're going to award the win to Miami because they rightfully won the game. They have shown that if that's what they want to do, that's what they can do. You know what I mean? But as Sterling said, man, investigation. It's like kind of like what they do in the NBA. Like they have like the refs, like they do a recount of maybe some calls that they missed. And I mean, it's the end of that, right? But like I said, maybe the guys may get docked some pay and maybe suspended for a couple of games. That's all I see. But we see that a lot. Man, chill out, man. Ain't nobody back there. Ain't nobody back there. But this ain't the area where they be at though. Um, this ain't the area that they be at. Thankfully, it's not. Thankfully, it's not. But Birdstone, I was on Twitter earlier, right? And I saw Canesville. They tweeted out that said the team is refocused and they practicing good. And I don't like to use the term PTSD because I know people really suffer from that. And I try to be sensitive because some people get overly sensitive about stuff. So I like to say maybe it's the heartbreak from years past. But I don't like hearing that they having a good practice. I don't like hearing that. Sterling, we on the same page. I'm gonna tell you a story, man. I'm gonna tell you a story. They also missed the calling wide receiver TD. Hey, I'm gonna talk about that, but let me tell this story. Sterling, I was in Albuquerque. This was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I was in Albuquerque, right, and I was putting some black magic on my tires. I just went to the truck. I think it is a truck wash over there at Albuquerque, but I was at a TA, and the woman came up to me and she said, "You need some help." Like this is like literally my first encounter with one of these people. And I'm like, oh, I don't need no help. I'm good. Oh, okay, I'm just asking. So the next morning, I'm about to get up and leave because it's Sunday. I got my 34, I'm about to leave. And so somebody is knocking on the door. And I'm like, so instantly I'm thinking like it's maybe the security guard or something in the parking lot. And so obviously I like hop up so the truck move so the person knows I'm in there. So I hear like, hello. So I'm like, oh no, I'm not moving it anymore. So I kind of stay back there in the sleeper. Cause I got the curtains. This was when I was with driving the company truck. So I kind of peeked through. Let's see how team respond. So I had to peek through the curtains. So I seen her just kind of like walk off. So I like, let me wait until she's like completely gone. So I'll probably wait about another 10, 15 minutes. So I get out, I do my pre-trip. So I see her across the parking lot. And there's a driver. He didn't even finish his pre-trip inspection before he opened the door and they got in the truck together. I'm like, bruh, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, you on that type of time this early? That's crazy. That's crazy. But Birdstone, yeah, but like I said, I don't know if it's the heartbreak, but I don't want to hear that y'all had no good practices because it's like, are you saying y'all ain't had no good practices leading up to Georgia Tech? Like, what is it? But that's good though. You know, hopefully they are refocused. Like I said, it's gonna be force met with force. This ain't gonna be no situation where North Carolina is looking at it like, oh well, man, Miami may not take it serious. No. North Carolina like, no, we gonna ratchet it up. We was already gonna come out this intense, but we're gonna ratchet it up. But back to that particular play, the Georgia Tech thing, right? Let's say in a perfect world, they called him down. Let's say they had 3 seconds left on the clock. Now, since it was less than 2 minutes left, and where he slid from, the referee was gonna have to run over there, get the ball, and put the ball on the right hash mark, and then step away for the clock to start. Now, is it possible that Georgia Tech could have got their offense down the field to spike the ball and go for the field goal to tie the game up to send it to overtime? I don't know. That's possible. Or let's say they went to review. They reviewed it. They did. And let's say they called him down at the 1. Well, does the game automatically end right there? Or does Georgia Tech get to go out on the field and spike the ball with 3 seconds left and kick the field goal? So even if they would have called that particular penalty, I still think Georgia Tech would have still been able to maybe kick a field goal and tie the game, and then we go to overtime, and then, maybe we can win it. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like that rule. I know where that rule derived from. It's from the Kenny Pickett situation where he faked the slide and then got back up and kept running. And the NCAA, being reactive instead of proactive, says, oh, wait a minute. Well, since we made all these rules to benefit the offense, let's do something for the defense. If a guy initiates a slide, we're going to call him down. Like, I don't care about that, man. You know what I mean? But I know what you're saying, and I know what has been going on Twitter. But to me, man, I'm like, I don't care, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I agree with you, though. I'm just pointing out more missed calls. Oh, man, it was a lot of, it was a lot, but like I said, I know those are the two. That Don Chaney fumble and that particular play. Those are the two biggest ones right now that people are bringing up. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny, bro, is like the Florida State and Florida people. They posting like the picture of when like our knee is down at the Duke game with the lateral, and it made me forget because I remember that game. I was in Maine. My first time going to Maine, I was at a truck stop. So they're not watching the game in the truckers' lounge because they could care less about Miami football. So I'm sitting there watching the game on my phone, and I said, bro, man, we done lost to Duke. So I turn the game off. I go out to my truck. I get the alert on my phone. I didn't even get to watch it live because I said, man, we lost. Alert come across my phone. Miami Hurricanes win Thriller. I said, what? So I go to ESPN, I'm watching the replay. I'm like, oh, man. Ain't no way I miss seeing this live. But, yeah, they posted that picture of our guy literally is on the knee and the ball is still in his hand. But, yeah, you hate it. You know what I mean? Because in the grand scheme of things, those referees took something away from our players. So, which is why I titled this video what it is. Are they going to adapt that particular mentality because of the referee blunders? Because that's what has to be done in order for that. Because let's think about it like this, right? I saw some people posting some stuff like, you watched the live QB. I bet it was great watching it live. You know what I mean? But like I said, I watched the replay because I was like, man, we lost. So I headed on back to the truck, and I think it was almost like it was late fall, early winter. So it was cold as crap in Maine anyway. So I need to get back out to the truck anyway. So, so people were posting the situation about the BCS. I don't know where they got it from, the graphic about we the number one team. So I'm just thinking, if we'd have just came out there and played the way that we had played the previous 4 games, that play could have happened. Both those plays could have happened. And the only thing we'll be saying right now is like, bruh, we had a shutout. Because obviously we're not taking into consideration TVD, those 3 interceptions. Those 3 interceptions end up being 3 touchdowns. Emory Williams is in the game. Maybe Jakari. I said Jaren. Lord have mercy. Jakari comes in, maybe gets, whatever. When Corn got the ball and started sprinting, I knew we won. It looked like they practiced it before. I mean, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do practice something like that. And what's crazy about that is that like, to be honest, bro, that was a show of real resiliency right there. Because think about this. This game happens a week after 58-0. Al Golden is fired. So we really got to stop and think about, like, the mental fortitude that the team had to overcome something like that, to go out there and play that particular way. Brad didn't start that game because he got knocked out against Clemson. Malik Rozier's first start, and for the team to rally behind Larry Scott like that and the rest of the staff to come out there after getting beat 58-0 and showing that resiliency and doing that. So I mean, so that was great, man. That was great. But hopefully that's the mentality that the team adopts moving forward. That we're not gonna leave it in the referee's hands, and under no circumstances, right? So like I said, I'm expecting a great game. But I was playing the scenario out, looking at it like this: the last top, like, if we win this game, beat Clemson, do what we need to do against Virginia, NC State, we're talking about a top 10 matchup between us and Florida State. Now, we had a top 10 matchup back in 2013 against Florida State. No, 2017, I believe. Or was it 13? Which one? It was one of those particular years. But obviously, in both those instances, Florida State was a stronger team. But the last time that the teams were even was about back in 2004. 2013? Okay, QB. I knew it was one of those years. So the last time the teams were even like they are kind of right now was 2004, right? So this would be a real deal top 10 matchup. So, hey, Ellen. Ellen, I'm out here grifting zebra cakes. I'm like Coach Hayes. He got coffee, I got zebra cakes. I'm going to change the name, though. I'm going to call them FBA cakes. And I'm going to change the color so they won't be white on the inside. They're going to be black and brown on the outside. So call them FBA cakes. Ellie, you can get some. I need for you to hit my Indiegogo page up. I need about 180,000. I'm gonna put you on the donors wall at the oh man, as a Star Crunch. You know, I'm just putting, you know, hey, I just put one product out at a time. You know what I mean? If you want the Star Crunch, then you got to go to my other Indiegogo, thing, and I'm gonna need about $220 for that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need about $220 for that. But yeah, man. Bro, but getting back to that, so that would be a real top 10 matchup if we run the table. And I don't want to look too far ahead, but it's just like most people say, if we go out and beat North Carolina, no one's going to remember that this game, I mean, people are going to remember that it happened, but it's going to be looked at as more so of a springboard to establish a mindset in an identity. I need an NIL for snacks. I don't know. You might can get some. You might can get one. But that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, so that's about all I wanted to talk about, though, to be honest. I just wanted to say that elbow gate, I think we need to beat Clemson 2 for it to die down. Man, the thing about that Clemson game, man, even though Clemson is down, it's still going that win that game still holds a lot of weight. I mean, it still holds a lot of weight. So, um, but like I said, man, I thought we was on North Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised if more images drop tomorrow. If more images. I don't know where they got that picture from because the video Monday was real grainy. Picture was real grainy, and now all of a sudden this thing is in 4K. Clemson ain't looking so clean. No, hey Ellen, I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Clemson is Clemsoning. That's what they're doing. They're Clemsoning. What Clemson did for those couple of years, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I like to try to be objective, but y'all are Clemsoning. This is what they do. Like this is inside. This is them. You know they had. Hey, I'm gonna ask y'all a question, man. I know the success isn't the same, but would y'all say that what Mac Brown has done with Sam Howell and Drake May is Clemson light? Not saying that Sam Howell and Drake May are generational quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, but don't you guys think that's kind of impressive, seeing that Mac Brown was essentially fired from Texas because he could not identify that particular position, and he comes to North Carolina and that's the best position that they have. That's kind of ironic. I was kind of thinking about that the other day because I said North Carolina really has had decent to good quarterback play. Dating back to where was it? Marquise Williams when they beat us 59-21. So they go from Marquise Williams to I forgot what the other guy, Mitch Trubisky, which he was overhyped. That doggone joker got drafted before Deshaun Watson got drafted. That's crazy. But then they go from him, and then you bring in Sam Howell. He comes and plays for 3 years, and now you got Drake May. So I think that's Clemson-esque without the national championship and obviously the defensive line and stuff like that. But I think that's kind of interesting what North Carolina and Mac Brown have been able to do. But yeah, Clemson is Clemsoning again. Unfortunately, hopefully they're still Clemsoning next week when we play them. We don't need them to roll back the hands of time and realize, and Dabo wakes up and says, you know what, Garrett, I'm hands off this week. I'm not. This is Miami. I'm not gonna risk it. Do what you need to do. You know, but that's all. Let's say I never really paid much attention to NC. I have PTSD from their runs. You know that the runs from 2020 that bothers me. But I'm gonna tell you the Clemson. I'm at the North Carolina game that really still upsets me is the 2000 and I think it was 2012. No, that was 2013 too because Morris' ankle was or Achilles was messed up. Yeah, I still remember that game. The Eric Ebron game. Mark D'Onofrio had one job. He had one job. And that one job was contain Eric Ebron. And then Eric Ebron gets to the NFL, and he can't catch a cold. He's not as dominant. But against the University of Miami, he had a day. I think that was when he got drafted. I think that was one of the games that was in a lot of his highlights, like his preview. But that's the game that gets me, is that Eric Ebron game. And yeah, North Carolina has had some nice running backs too. But yep. But he can't catch a cold. No, he I don't know if Eric Ebron is still in the league. I know he got drafted by the Steelers, and I got a friend of mine. He's a real big Steelers fan, and that Eric Ebron phase came and went. Pause. But yeah, North Carolina has some good players though, man. Like they really have had some nice players. I don't They just they almost kind of put you in the mindset of like a Baylor and TCU. Like if they get like a really good team, which they don't necessarily get. Like they may have some good offensive pieces here, the defense is kind of missing. But I think maybe like this particular year could be. Someone said something today, and I thought about it. I said, man, would it be crazy if North Carolina and Louisville were the two teams playing for the ACC this year? That would be absolutely insane. But good thing is if we handle business and Florida State handle business, the ACC will get the matchup that they have been longing for since 2004, which is Miami versus Florida State. And that's what I want. But Louisville versus North Carolina for ACC championship. That game, to me, that game wasn't moving the needle. But they're both playing, really good football. Both of them are undefeated. But I don't think that game will move the needle. And to be honest, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but 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 you gotta think UNC has decent players. The only player I would say was a problem was Josh Downs. He was that guy. Other than that, their players are average. I wouldn't say that Birds. No, we can agree to disagree. I think they've had some good players. Louisville beat Notre Dame, so it might get some attention. Yeah, but it's still Louisville. At the end of the day, it's still Louisville because it's gonna be. I mean, but you would think though, Louisville Day is coming. I see them dropping the game before us. The thing about Louisville is you get Jeff Brom to come in. He just played for a Big Ten, championship against Michigan. Gave Michigan pretty much all they could handle, to be honest. But they came up a little short. But but it's just like it's still Louisville. It's still kind of like I said, like Baylor and TCU. It's like, yeah, y'all are good, but it's like we really can't really get behind you guys like that. Like we can't necessarily market Louisville, Kentucky to the masses. You know what I mean? So, but you met the Birds now. Like I said, I think North Carolina has some good players. Um, like I said, let's say Josh Downs. I think say Sam Howell was pretty good. Those two running backs that they had, they got drafted. Those guys are good. Like I say, Eric Ebron was good. I think Eric Ebron was an All American. I think that linebacker that they had that particular year, the one that converted over from quarterback, Chaz Surratt? He was good. Um, but from a college perspective, not just a grand perspective. Agree, need a brand name opponent to play. Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't elite. You see the shot. I was just saying compared to the rest of the field. To the rest of the field. Oh yeah. To the rest of the field. Well, to the rest of the field, I think Eric Ebron, in my opinion, is probably one of the best tight ends to come out of college in the past 10 years. So if you're talking about from that perspective, then yeah, I think Eric Ebron is up there with like a OJ Howard, a Kyle Pitts. I think Eric Ebron was in that particular echelon of college player. That's just my opinion. I got watching them firsthand, and but then again, maybe the point of reference that I saw him at, maybe that wasn't a good point. That wasn't a good point of reference because it was against us. So I might have to put an asterisk beside it. But I think, but he was really good. Um, but yeah, QB. Think about this QB for a second. Miami playing good, Florida State playing good, and you get Louisville and North Carolina for all the marbles. Clemson is down. Ebron appears. I think Ebron may be close to Njoku. Ebron had that size though, and the thing about comparing Pitts and Ebron is just that they were used differently, right? Like Dan Mullen got in his bag that year with Kyle Pitts. He got in his bag. But as just an overall tight end, I would probably get an edge to Ebron because I don't think Kyle Pitts was that good of a blocker. Cause Kyle Pitts was more just of just a big wide receiver. But yeah, but Ebron, yeah, Ebron was an issue. Like for real, he was an issue. But yeah, like let's think about that. Like you get Clemson preseason, you get the Bros Award winner. So you're expecting for the offense to take off. You got K Klubnik. You sent DJU out back west. You get what is it? Jeff Scott. Jeff Scott's back in the program as some type of. He's not a coach, but he's like player personnel type of ordeal. Defense returns some good players. And Joku has Ebron's size as far as height, weight, maybe not. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Ebron one short though. Yeah, Ebron. What was Ebron like 6'5", 6'5", 6'6", something like that? Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. ACC will market Drake May if they're in the championship. Don't know if Louisville can do something. You know what, QB? I ain't think about that. But man, they can market Drake May, but you got Florida State, Miami, and Clemson right there. And like I said, I don't want to put no bad omens out here, but that would be a catastrophe. Like I say, I low-key like what UNC and Louisville are doing because I love parity. I love not going into a game and saying like, oh, I know we're going to win. I like actually going into a game saying like, man, this is like 50-50. Like, they got some guys. We got some guys. Let's roll. Hey, like they say, let's roll the ball out on the field and let's see who want it more. You know what I mean? I like seeing that. So I love parity. But in the grand scheme of things, in a year, think about this. The Big Ten and the SEC have leveled all the way up, right? And the ACC's response is give us Cal, give us Stanford, give us SMU. And you have a year in which Miami did what they did at Texas A&M. Neither one of those teams is going to represent the ACC. If it happened, that would mean that that both beat us. You know? I don't know. I mean, you got some interesting tiebreakers in there because what Florida State does have to play Louisville this year because even though they're not doing the Atlantic and the Coastal, but I think they still do have to play Louisville. I think, but no. Oh, that's next year. No, is it this year? No, it's this year where we got the 3 permanent opponents. Yeah, but in any regard, but yeah, like I said, you got the storyline. Miami did this week 2. Florida State went to beat LSU. Clemson, they just they Clemsoning. But that would be wild, man, if Louisville, North Carolina went to the ACC championship. But I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest ACC championship game that I've seen. SEC looks watered down this year, to be honest. Maybe they may be number 3 or 4 out of Power 5. Yeah, that's the thing. But you know what? It had to happen. Like, I mean, it just had to happen. It really did. I think right now, that's why I've been so impressed with like what Nick Saban has been able to do, man. That has to be the hardest thing to do in the world from 2008 to, let's just say, this year, to have those guys still kind of focused on excellence. Eventually it got to fall. Now, the conference that is no longer going to be there, you could make it. I think the Pac-12 is the best conference this year, and that's crazy. You got Oregon, you got Washington, UCLA is still pretty solid. You got USC. I don't think no other. Well, no, I take that back. ACC is the best conference this year. Pac-12 second, and I would go Big Ten, and I think the Big 12 and the SEC are tied this year. So the ACC has the best, because like I said, it's us, Florida State, Louisville, North Carolina, right? And I think and Syracuse is pretty good this year, and because they're 4-2, yeah. Oh yeah, and Duke Duke, yeah, Duke. So that's 5, and then you got maybe you add in Syracuse or something like that. So that's 6. Kirby Smart, 2 though. The man has won 23 straight games, and they really not being talked about. It's crazy how focusing. They really just got. I got the Pac-12 ACL as the best out of conference wins. Okay, okay. I'm gonna say this though, QB. I'll say this about this. I would say probably the Pac-12's 2 best top. I'll say this. I say that if we're talking just purely the which conference got the best 2 top teams, I'm taking the Pac-12 because Washington and Oregon, I think, would probably end as much as I would hate to say this. Probably the 2 best teams in the ACC right now are probably obviously Florida State, and you can flip a coin for UNC and Louisville, right? But and then the Big Ten, you got Michigan and Penn State. I don't think either one of those beat Washington or Oregon. I don't know though. That's interesting though. If I think about the top 2 teams, because I would. You got Texas and Oklahoma. No, I think I would still go with the Pac-12. In the SEC, I don't know who the second best team is in the SEC. But yeah, back to you, Birdstone. Yeah, it's crazy that they so locked in. And what's even more crazy, like I said, I listen to a lot of stuff, man. And someone said, and this could just be one of those hot takes, but they said like Kirby Smart is kind of not forcing the issue with the offense anymore, trying to be a power run team. And his assessment of the situation is that he feels that Georgia's passing game can be as potent as Washington. And I said to myself, if Georgia come out there with a passing game as potent as Washington is, man, you might well just gonna get him the trophy now. You might well just gonna give him the trophy now. But yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something else that would be great and crazy at the same time too. If the ACC and the Pac-12 are able to get 2 teams in the 14 playoff, which I know that's not gonna happen. But that would be crazy. That would be crazy. But this has been a crazy year though. So why not? Why not have Miami and either Florida State or Louisville and Washington and Oregon in the Final Four? Why not? That would be great. But I don't know though. I'm like Coach Hayes, man. I can't be talking about other teams, man. People gonna say I'm not a real Canes fan. I can't talk about other teams. Let's talk about the Hurricanes. I'm gonna say this though, man. Like Kobe Young. I know when Kobe Young came back in the game, they said he had a brace on and like one of those knee pads or something. And I said, man, it's gonna be interesting to see if that's what he has on in North Carolina, because I think that's gonna limit his mobility. So that means that we might get to see Isaiah Horton and a little bit more of Isaiah Horton, and a little bit more of Tyler Harrell. And I think that would, to me, that would kind of be a blow, because that would mean that TVD would kind of have to ingratiate himself with either Tyler Harrell more or Isaiah Horton, because he's so locked in with Kobe, X, and Jacoby right now. So that would be something interesting to monitor. How would he adjust? Because remember, when we go back to 2021, I was on 247. And David Lake had wrote an article about like TVD did not really look to the left side of the field during that 2021 campaign, because Mike Harley and Charleston Rambo predominantly lined up need design passes for those guys. Mike Harley and Charleston Rambo specifically lined up majority of the time on the right side of the field. So TVD had a lot of attempts to the right side of the field, and he really didn't have that many to the left side of the field. So, and I think Kobe would be good to go. And now on Harold, I'm sorry, but he can't run routes. He was running into X and Jacoby on Saturday. That's what I said, man. I think people needed to see that. That's why he's not on the field. You know, I don't. But I don't want to get into that, man. I'm glad he's a Hurricane. But I think Kobe would be fine too. But I just when I hear brace and skill player in the same sentence, I'm like, that's never a good marriage. That's never a good arrangement in my opinion. So, but Isaiah Horton caught a touchdown against Texas A&M, so obviously they feel comfortable rotating him in for Kobe Young. So he has a big opportunity, right? So again, just thinking out loud, man, having let's say Isaiah Horton comes in, Isaiah Horton catches 4 passes for like a buck 10 and 2 tutties. Like that's the type of that's the type of stuff that we want to hear. Like that's the type of stuff that we want to see because he puts himself in position to push. Crazy no last in the red. Man, I ain't gonna say it ain't crazy about Ladson, but or Redden to be honest. Um, I don't know. Now he hit Rambo a lot. Now he hit Rambo a lot to the field side they used to kill those 10-yard curls. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Rambo was predominantly on the right side a lot of times. Cause I'm gonna tell you that play that Lashley. I don't know how that play was always open, but Lashley would always take that post shot coming back from halftime. If we got the ball after half, that post to Rambo was always there. I don't know how it was there with no run game. We didn't have no run game, but that post route to Charleston Rambo, it seemed like it was there every time after halftime. I may be, you know, over exaggerating, but it seemed like it was there quite often. You know what I mean? It was there quite often. But at this point, man, for Frank Ladson and Michael Redden, hey man, like Van Wilder, hey man, get that free education, man. Get that free education. And make the most of it. You know what I mean? Make the most of it. I commend those guys for being good teammates, man. I haven't heard anyone say anything about those guys being locker room issues or anything like that. Obviously, they bought into the work ethic and everything like that. They're being good players. Rambo played all over. If it was a deep shot, Rambo played the field because our other wide receivers came. Yeah, but yeah, he played. But what I'm saying, Birdstone, is Rambo was majority on the right side of the field. I'm not really that good with the X, Y, and Z type of thing. I think the Z is the slot receiver, but as far as the X and the Y, I'm not too good with that. But I know he was mainly on the right side because him and Harley, they really worked a lot over there. And when he did throw the ball to Smith, I'm not making no excuses for the guy, but it's like, golly, you done threw 15 passes to these guys, and now we're in the third quarter, and you throw me a doggone slant right, I got to catch it. Boundary side. Okay. Yeah, so, not taking up for Smith, but I'm like, golly, man, I ain't caught a pass in 3 quarters. And here we is 3rd and 5, and you loading up on me, and I got the butterfingers. So, but yeah, that would be great, man, to see Isaiah Horton, because I know a lot of people, were high on Horton when he got here, So, and I'm sure people are still high on him. You know what I mean? I don't really keep up with it. Be prepared. Be prepared for what? What are you being prepared for? Are you talking about Horton being prepared or just somebody random being prepared? But yeah. But I will say this though, I'm not really that concerned with the wide receiver position though. Honestly, I think was he wrong? K. Smith not getting targeted. For 3rd and 5. Oh. Hey, you're right. You're right. And what's so crazy about that though is the wide receiver coach that we had. He is responsible for, well, partially responsible for Brandon Ayuk and N'Keal Harry. So it's like, now obviously you're not gonna get everyone to perform, but at the same time it's kind of like we're trying you out on the field. We feel that you're the 3rd best wide receiver, so like you say, Ellen, 3rd and 5, you should be prepared. But obviously he wasn't, and maybe that could have just been an indictment on the situation of like, you're just the best of the rest. So, and unfortunately that may have been the circumstances that for Smith. I ain't really been watching SMU though, man. I've really been watching a lot of Texas and Washington. But I mean, like I said, need tight ends to be used more. Roy needs to play Saturday to throw off UNC. That's what, you know what? And QB, I know you was on the show with Coach Hayes when Arroyo's dad called in and said he was medically cleared to go. So I don't know why he hasn't played. I mean, I drafted him for my fantasy team. And I let him go today because, hey, man, it's getting rough out there, man. I ain't won but one game between 2 teams. So, hey, I had to let him go. I said, hey, I need active players. But that'll be interesting, though. I don't know. But you know about the tight end thing, man. I like to try to do a little research about stuff. And I just kind of went back and looked at Houston a little bit. It's like, man, like Dawson really didn't get the tight ends involved that much. So I'm crazy some players never return from injury. Zion still hasn't played. I don't know what's up with Zion. And with the little, I don't know if I can say the C word, but the C word, the C year 2020, when they gave people extra eligibility, I don't know how he has any eligibility left, to be honest. Like I know you didn't red shirt, and then you got a medical red shirt. And then I think maybe he red shirted last year too? Or maybe I'm getting it wrong. Because his first year was 2018. So he played in 18, started. No. He played in 19 because that was the first year Jaren started. No. Jaren started 18. No. 19. Probably the tight ends in the offense that TVS trusts his arm and tees and hold. It had to be me mentally right. Zion was blocking for Jaren. That's what I'm saying. So what year was that? No. Was it 18? That was 19, right? I'm trying to think. Mark Rick last year was 18. Won the McCormick A&M rally this game 4-2. Somebody help me. This stuff runs together. Did Jaren start? Yeah. Because Malik was gone 18. So yeah, 18 because we played Florida. Yeah, okay. So it was 19? It was 19. Okay. So he played 19. We had the C word at 20. Then he played in 21. So he gained another year of eligibility, right? Okay. So then last year, so after the 21 season, he got injured. So then he got a medical last year. So technically he can redshirt this year and actually come back next year. Okay, cool. I thought he came in 18. Okay, pause. That's crazy. But yeah, some guys don't come back from injury. Like what was that linebacker that we had that year? Gayot. I don't think TVD trust is there. You know what, Ellen? That's a good point. Because if we just looking at the roster, TVD really didn't get to play with Arroyo. He didn't really get to play with Arroyo. He got to play with Pause. That's crazy. Let me be serious. Y'all not saying Pause, so I'm just gonna get it off. He didn't get to play with Arroyo. He got to play with Will Mallory. And Arroyo played some, and then he got hurt, so he didn't play all of last year. So really, his trust is really with Will Mallory. I don't know. That pass, you know what? Because Riley Williams, the tight ends are open, he just has to hit them. He played with Arroyo and Mallory. Know what I'm saying? In terms of his trust, Will Mallory was his guy. So he got the ball to Will Mallory more. That's what I'm saying. He got the ball to Will Mallory more. Because last year, Yeah, because last year Will Mallory was here last year. Arroyo did not play last year because of the injury. So the year before, Arroyo was a freshman, but Will Mallory was still the primary receiving threat, um, especially in 21. Because remember, Lashley had that little special play where Mallory comes in motion and then he kind of slips through the A or B gap and is wide open in the middle of the field. Like, I don't ever remember Arroyo, getting that particular play. So that's what I'm saying. So technically, but I tell you what, as much as I love Arroyo, Mallory was better than 21. Yeah. You know why he was better than 21 Allen? Because Arroyo was there to do some of the blocking. I don't know what they did. But you know what? I put Will Mallory in the same kind of category as like Anthony Chickalo. And I heard about the recent incident that he had. So prayers that he gets that situated. Yeah, QB, he was used better than 21. But Will Mallory, I'm looking at Will Mallory like Anthony Chickalo, where like Will Mallory did not complain. He just went out there and did what he did. Even though he knew it was BS, he did what he did. That's why it pissed me off so bad. The last game of the season last year, we lined Will Mallory up on the outside and throw a go ball. And I'm like, bruh, so throw in Skinner. He has some connect with Skinner. He's more, hey, but the birdies are chirping that maybe Skinner is not picking the stuff up as quickly as need to pick it up, or maybe the work ethic or whatever. So I don't know. But like I was saying earlier, like Dawson, I looking at it, he doesn't necessarily really use the tight ends, and that's kind of like before I did in my live the other day. When someone said, Dawson signed up, because I made the statement, I said, man, Dawson is kind of like, it's almost like he's realizing, like, man, I got a whole lot of weapons. I got one football. This is way different than designing stuff to just get the ball to Tank Dell. Or even if we go back to West Virginia, this is way different than just getting the ball to Steve Slayton and Tavon Austin and the other wide receiver he got that they had. Skinner he's some of, yeah. But that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Scar. That's the thing about this is I was thinking about Skinner right before the year started. My whole thing was, if the receivers are a question mark, that means that Skinner needs to. I want Skinner to be the guy. But when the receivers no longer become a question mark, it's kind of like, okay, well, where does Skinner fit in this? Because he's not going to block like Riley Williams. Riley Williams can block and go out and run routes, right? We don't necessarily need him as a red zone target because we got 6'4", 6'5" Kobe Young out there. Not saying that it doesn't help to not have multiple verticals, but Riley Williams is not short. So it's almost like kind of like looking at it like Cyrus Moss. And I'm not trying to write any of these players out, but it's kind of like you have players that are behind you that are also on the roster that possess the same ability that you possess, and they can do the same thing that you do. So where do you fit in at? We don't need a specialist if we got somebody who can do the same thing as you do. Spread no one wide. I don't know, Shy. The tight end run routes and the open. The quarterback has to spread it around. No, by the way, receiver get 50 times. Hey. hey, Birdstar, hey, when we do our show together, brother, you can touch that topic, you can bring that topic up, and you can talk about this as much as you want to. I'm not touching it. Skinner more Herndon than Pitts, and Herndon was a beast. No, I can't say that, because Herndon was a real tight end. Herndon was a traditional tight end, and the thing was, he wasn't as fast as Njoku, but Herndon could do that. Herndon could block. What's good, P-Lo? What's good? Herndon could block. Herndon could go out on a route. That's what I'm saying. Herndon could block when y'all doing the show. I don't know, man. We get some time, man. It probably it probably have to be on a weekend or something like that. To be honest, it have to be on a weekend, something like that. because I don't know how my schedule goes during the week. I don't really have that much control of it because I may get somewhere and think I'm gonna be stopped early, and then I get there and I'm not. Yeah, Herndon was solid in every aspect. Yeah, man. But think about that. That was a nasty combination of tight ends. We had we had 2 cycles. We had 2 cycles of like 2 legit tight ends where we go from Herndon and Njoku to Mallory and Brevin Jordan, right? And you would think we would have that right now, which we do, but we don't because they're not playing together like Riley Williams and Arroyo or Arroyo and Skinner. You know what I mean? But we had a nice little run of tight ends. Like, I mean, not saying the run had stopped, but when we just talking about just production, like, man, we had a nice little run dating all the way back to when Clive Walford were here. You know, Clive Walford and yeah, Clive Herndon and a guy that's forgotten about. And I was thinking about this because I was thinking about that 2000 and was it 2013 game? Yeah, the 2013. No. Yeah, no. Standish Dobart. Standish Dobart. He was from Louisiana. And Standish was we wanted Standish. And unfortunately, the thing about Standish Dobart that will be remembered is Standish Dobart fumbled that ball against Florida State. We had all the momentum. I think Jalen Ramsey caused that fumble. We had all the momentum that game. Jimmy Graham. Oh, I mean that's going away. But I'm just talking about like from Golden on forward. Of course, yeah. And Bo Sandlin. But Bo Sandlin, that's who Will Mallory reminded me of. Except for Will Mallory was obviously he was productive. But man, we had a nice run, man. So yeah, it would be unfortunate if we don't get the tight ends incorporated. But kind of like back what I was saying, like, man, we got a lot of weapons, man. Like we have a crap ton of weapons. We got our top 3 wide receivers. Then you got Riley. Then you got Skinner. Then you got Brashard. Then you got 4 running backs. We got 4 running backs. Michael Irvin 11 was between Bird and Matt. Yeah. I remember Irvin Jr. Yep. I remember that. But man, we got 4 running backs, 3 wide no running back screaming. We threw one well, at least we threw one to Henry Parrish. I can't remember the game, but I think he threw it. He may have threw it over his head though. But I've seen it. I've seen it. I just don't know, man. It's just interesting now because I can't remember a time where I felt Jakari should have a Pegasus game. I don't know. Chris Johnson needs screens out there. We threw that wasn't a screen though. What did we throw him a screen? Was that a screen? Or did we just kind of throw him a little dump off pass? But man, Georgia Tech had the angle, man. But that's the thing though. It's kind of like, I'm not questioning Dawson, but it's kind of like, that's why I say when you got guys that are specialists, like that's an easy tip off to a defensive coordinator. Like, oh well, we know why he's in the game. He's only in the game to do this. You know what I mean? But I just can't remember a year, man, where a pass to the flats. Okay, a pass to the flats. Okay. I just can't remember a year, man, where I felt like we had this much skill talent and we just don't know what to do with it. Right? I just don't. Like, the closest one I could probably remember was maybe, was it 2012? No, 2013. 2013. Because that's when Stacy and them were freshmen. Him and Artie came in that 2013 class. Oh, no, that was, maybe that was, no. Yeah, 2013. Because it was like, you had to get Stacy the ball. Duke was still there. The tight end that we had was still there. So it's like, but it seemed like that James Carly, you know what I'm saying, the ball. We didn't move the O-line at all. No counters, no run back screen, no wide receiver jet sweeps. And Birdstar, I'm just gonna chalk that up to the field conditions. To be honest, I'm gonna really chalk that up because when I went back and which I saw it live, but when you see Cam come up and then he slips like that, and the other guy gathered like the guy gathered literally gathered his feet and before he turned and ran, because I think if he would have just kind of tried to speed turn, he probably would have slipped too, and by that time Haynes King would have threw the ball and it would have went over his head. But he stopped, gathered his feet, and then took off running. And Cam didn't do that. Cam just came up and did that. 2016 Walton Stacy. Yeah, okay, yeah, QB. I'm glad. Yeah, keep me up with the years. Yeah, like that's the closest thing right there. Like, but it's like everybody ate. Everybody ate in 16. 17 was kind of a drop off because it was really a lot of burials. AR was, he was dealing with the hamstring, so he came in and out, and and Chris Herndon. But it's like right now, like, bro, we got a lot, man. Like, we can put Ray out there. We can put Rashard out there. Like you said, we got Skinner, Arroyo, Riley, the three receivers we got, Isaiah Horton. I mean, man, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. That's way more firepower than Shannon Dawson probably has ever been able to operate with in his entire career. And like I said, you were out there at West Virginia. You know what I mean? But man, that's a lot. That's a lot of firepower, man. That's a lot. And the way we're recruiting so hard, we're trying to get Jeremiah Smith. We already got JoJo. Just got Not Carr. We should go back to 2 sets. Hell out running backs legit. Birdstar, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got too much. They say too much. They say too much of a good thing could be bad, and I think that's what it is. Because, like, literally, we are asking questions. Why not the tight ends getting involved? But it's like we got 3 wide receivers we got to feed. We got 4 running backs that got to get carries. Brashard is the little X factor. You know what I mean? Ray comes in. Like, Ellen, we like low key, we are. We loaded. And we're trying to load up even more. So this year is crazy. So let's just say, for instance, we do get Jeremiah Smith. So we got Jeremiah, JoJo, Nye Carter, Chance Robinson. Those 4 come in. X still got eligibility. George still got some eligibility. What's up, Shaw? What's up, y'all? What's up, Chris Caines? What's my man? Kobe Young still got eligibility. All 4 of the running backs, they still got eligibility. All the tight ends have eligibility, except for Van Wilder. But you see Van Wilder, he said, no, I ain't trying to leave yet. I wasted too much time in Eugene. We're really not using tempo either, so we should think about that, bro. Like, we got so much and are looking to get so much more. You know what I mean? So it's, Dawson got their work cut out for it, man. So that's why, like, I'm not really tripping about him not getting, whether he gets the tight ends involved or he don't get the tight ends involved. Did we use tempo against GT? I think we did for one drive. I think it was a drive, right? I think the drive we used tempo is when the GT guy faked the. I ain't gonna say he faked the injury, but you know what the guys do? They lay on the field and all this stuff. But I think Georgia Tech had to use a timeout too, for that. So that's what I'm thinking. But man, we got a lot. Man, we got a lot of talent, man. I mean, hats off to Coach Cristobal, man. Like I said, I'm not the type of fan that's trying to nitpick all the negative, bad, maybe the stuff that I disagree with him doing. But just from an acquisition standpoint, hiring Kevin Beard, and Kevin Beard is showing his ability to be a coach with the performance of the wide receivers, and then also showing that he also can go out there and recruit as well. Like, bruh, need to use tempo 20-25% of the time. I agree. I think against UNC we're gonna have to use some tempo. Wayne, you late? Nah, Wayne, you ain't late, man. You ain't late. You ain't late. This is spontaneous. I didn't set a time, so you can't be late. You can't be late. If anything, I'm late. But that's crazy when you really stop and think about it, man. Like we really got a as they say, man, we really got some fire skill players though, for real, for real. But I don't know, man. I'm happy, you know. I'm happy. I'm really happy. I really am. But well, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. But like I said, Dawson is going to have to dig into the bag of tricks this particular week, though. I feel that. I know that. Like I said, man, this is gonna be. I know we play Florida State, but I think this might be the best game of the season for us. Dawson has to have the same mentality as the A&M game as the play caller. We cannot take our feet off the gas. He needs to bring out all the stops. Yeah, you got to bring them out. You got to, because I guarantee you North Carolina ain't gonna leave not now. Like this game gonna be so personal that hey, listen, I'm not fake punt, fake field goal, like, bruh, I feel like Mac Brown may be so disrespectful, bruh, and this just me. They first offensive possession, Mac Brown may tell Drake May, snap the ball and take a knee. I really was thinking about that today. I said, man, Mac might get so disrespectful, man. Mac might say, don't worry about the 5 yard. We're gonna get him back anyway. Take a knee. Let's show him how it's done. It might get disrespectful though, but like, it's gonna be disrespectful in a good way because I think it's gonna be good television. But man, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I need to run in and go take me a shot, man. I appreciate y'all, Mac and Dabo, bro. I'm more worried about UNC and Clemson than Florida State. Dabo would take a knee. Mac gonna take a knee. Bro, Dabo got a bye week. Dabo's seat getting warm. Ain't no telling what Clemson we might see. I don't want to take that for a head though yet. I want the North Carolina game to be there. But I hope we see the coin tag. That's what I'm saying. That exactly, Burstone. I want us to get it. Bend the knee like the Game of Thrones. Hell, Mac might take a knee. Mac might take a knee. But yeah, I want us to get the ball first and set the tone. But yeah. But Wayne, as far as that, worried. When I was on Groove Show, Landon would take a knee. Bruh. Man, you know how personal. I asked that question the other day, man, about the bowl game, though, bruh. Like, even though I picked Ole Miss, but man, a Miami versus Oregon bowl game, my God. My God. That would be crazy. But I'm gonna say this. I said this on Storm Warning with Groove and A Black. I'm more worried about Louisville this year, to be honest. Florida State, that's a rivalry game. It's gonna go the way it's gonna go. North Carolina rivalry game, it's gonna go the way it's gonna go. Clemson, I ain't gonna say it's gonna go the way it's gonna go because I feel like we should have the upper hand this year. But Louisville, I am worried. And the reason that I am worried about Louisville is because we would have gone through the gauntlet of Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina. we would have gone through that particular gauntlet before they get us. Now, obviously, not saying that their schedule is cake, but we going through a gauntlet. And then NC State plays us tough as well, even though we should, I'm not gonna say blow someone off the field, but we should beat them. We should beat Virginia, but NC State is still a test for us. Louisville gets us after all those games. So I'm more worried about Louisville. I wish Louisville was after. No. I wish Louisville game was after Virginia, right? But it's the second to the last game, so. But that's what it is. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I'm about to go ahead and take me a shower and get ready for. Oh, I gotta tell y'all a funny story today, man. I gotta tell y'all a funny story. I gotta tell y'all a funny story. I woke up this morning. My fuel line got a hole rubbed in it, so I was leaking diesel. But it happened last night. But I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get a hose last night. So I was at a shop. I said, well, I get up today, which is, I get up in the morning, which is today. Let's be real, every year, every game, we're somebody's Super Bowl, whether we're on top or not. True that. So I get the hose. I take the hose off the truck. I go over to the shop. I say, hey, I don't need you to put the hose on for me. I just need to see if you got an assistant, someone free to take me to the parts store and get the hose made. He said, sure. He said, I got two older gentlemen that, I help out, pay them just mileage and stuff like that. So, mind you, I'm in Arkansas. So I'm like, okay, well, I know what type of older gentleman you talking about. But I'm not going to stereotype nobody. So the guy pulls up in the car. So we get in the car. So we ride to the store, right? And I'm an introvert, so, I'm not really saying nothing. He doing all the talking. And so the dude busts out and say this. The dude, like, he tells me, he's like, might well say, I'm 75. I'm like, all right, cool. He busts out and tell me, he say, the reason I'm so comfortable talking to black people is because my wife's best friend was black. I said, what? I'm saying it to myself. I ain't say it to him. I'm like, what? Yeah. And then before I retired, I had a coworker. He was about 20 years younger than me. And he was black. I said, can we please get to this parts store any faster? So he just talking and I'm just engaging because I'm sitting up here thinking I'm like this is an episode of All in the Family reincarnated. I'm in the car with Archie Bunker. So then when we come back, we get back to the truck stop, right? So he asked me, he was like, he said, man, you go to college? I was like, yeah. He said, okay, yeah, I figured that. I'm like, what do you mean you figured that? What? Do I sound articulate to you? So then he started talking about the 2008 financial crisis, when Wall Street got bailed out. And I said, oh, I see where you're trying to go with it, but we almost to the truck stop, so he don't get the pleasure. So then we get to the truck stop. He says, I forgot what he said. He said, but man, I'm just telling you this stuff because you're black. What the hell do you mean you telling me this because I'm black? What are you talking about? So then we get out. So we get out the car. I say, man, I appreciate the ride. He said, all right, I'm gonna be praying for you. And I'm thinking to myself, no, the hell you won't. I don't want you praying for me. I want you praying for me just because I'm black. I'm saying that to myself. I said, what the hell? But that's crazy. That man said he's telling me it's because I'm black. But anyway, man, y'all have a blessed night, man. UNC, y'all on the clock. Hey, it's all about the U. I'm out.